Getting state-of-the-art PDF parsing results for your specific document structures and styling is not usually an easy feat. How can we take a truly customized approach to the PDF parsing? How do we make manual and auto-labeling of training documents super easy? How can we uptrain a state-of-the-art parsing model in a no-code fashion? We'll tackle all this and more today. The real game changer in our adventure is the Document AI service offered by Google Cloud. This magical tool provides us access to ready-to-use models, but the real sorcery begins when we feed our labeled training PDFs into this model. The model is then transformed into a tailor-made expert, performing better with our specific tasks and unique document formats. After this transformation, the no-code Document AI service provides us with an API for use in pipelines, scripts, and an array of software systems. Let's commence our journey together at the landing page of Document AI. Our mission today involves delving into processors. As we set out to train a processor and the associated model, we need to tread cautiously with the base model we choose. Some options under the specialized domain may serve as valuable allies. However, remember you're not confined to these specialized models. General-purpose models can be effective too. For this expedition, we'll adopt the invoice parser as our trusted base processor. Next, we'll anchor ourselves into the US region, opening up access to a regional endpoint. Then comes the fun part, configuring a dataset. Although you have the freedom to use your own cloud storage for this model, the turnkey solution from Google Document AI works wonders. We'll get our dataset in shape with the default settings. Bear with us a few moments while this process wraps up, and soon we'll be able to import documents for our training. Have your eyes noticed our training button here? Currently inactive, we need to gather enough data to uptrain this base model. Now brace yourselves as we import documents from a Google Cloud tutorial. These treasures are accessible via a publicly shared bucket. We're going to welcome this as yet unassigned data and bring auto-labeling to the fore. This sets the stage for us to quickly begin labeling our data, priming it for model training. Next, we're about to import another document. Remember, the import process takes longer with more documents. Fear not, with a single document, it's as quick as lightning. This processor has a rich default schema, allowing us to enrich our document with new labels or adjust the existing ones. To understand the schema for our model, let's run our eyes over the first document. It's peppered with details: the supplier name and address, an invoice ID, due date, and what we term as line items. These items house fields for price, quantity, and total cost. Totals are artfully placed at the bottom. Auto-labeling gives us a head start, but fret not if you lack it. This can be done manually too. It's nice to have, but not a deal breaker. Before we venture into exploring more documents, observe the plethora of labels we have at our disposal. An integral part of our journey is ensuring that we have sufficient samples for each label. Attempt to train and view the label stats, and you'll encounter that many fields have no documents attached. Remember, documents that are not assigned to the training or testing datasets won't show up in the label stats. Consequently, it's advisable to refine your schema. Keep only the fields that are anticipated in each of your PDFs. We're now primed to modify this schema. We don't necessarily need these labels to appear in each document. What we do require is there's sufficient representation in our training set, allowing the system to decode and comprehend what each of these values embodies. We're set to deactivate various options. In essence, we'll disable those that were absent from our test document. Currency was indeed observed, but sadly, not a currency exchange rate. Our latest endeavor has involved the disabling of a significant number of our labels. This step ensures that we have an ample PDF core to educate the model on each label. Let's revert to our document to examine if the updated schema aligns with it. It appears we've incorporated all the expected fields. The immediate task we have on hand is to expand our training set. This necessitates incorporating more documents for labeling. We'll lean on Google Cloud sample tutorial data as our import source. We'll assign this to the training data split and we'll also utilize auto-labeling. We also need to give thought to importing some test documents. This will provide us with both training and test documents, which we can deploy to train this invoice parsing model. Make sure to select a testing split while importing. As soon as all these documents are primed for training and testing, the task of labeling falls to you. Remember, this is supervised training. The model requires exact details of how these labels appear in your document. We've already identified things like the supplier name and supplier address, but imagine that we were to introduce another currency field. This could be accomplished using the add instance followed by annotate commands. Then you simply want to scrutinize and validate that this automatic auto-labeling process has functioned correctly. For example, if a supplier name appears slightly amiss, attempting to pick up a logo instead, that's hardly appropriate. You'll want to erase those mislabelings. The objective now is to systematically review each document and evaluate the auto-labeler's performance. Make amendments and additions as required. Upon completion of each document, click Mark as Labeled. Your process now involves labeling these documents, providing high-quality data points to train the model. For those of you following along, it's time for action. If your goal is to simply grasp the concept, you could accept the auto-labeled suggestions without carrying out any editing, reviewing, insertion, or deletion activities. Once you've fixed up the labeling, you should have a pretty full data set. This labeled data is crucial as it will be used for training the model. Let's see if we meet the criteria to train a model. If we click here and view the label stats, we'll see that we need at least 10 of each label in our training documents and at least 10 of each in our testing documents. The numbers do vary depending on what label we're talking about, but we are well beyond what we need for most labels. We are a bit below the recommended 50 documents on some of our tests. For example, only 20 documents in our testing dataset had a due date. Overall, though, this is sufficient to start training our model. We're going to give this a name, and then it's as simple as clicking Start Training. Note that this can take a while. For a dataset of this size, we're looking at about 2 hours. Once our model is successfully trained, we will see an F1 score and a check mark. If we go to our model versions, we'll see some pre-trained models alongside our new custom-trained model. To deploy this model, we just need to check this box and click Deploy. After a couple of minutes, we'll be able to evaluate this model using a PDF that we haven't used before to check its performance. Let's test out our new model. Optionally, we can change the default version for this specific processor. Now the API-based usage of this processor will run through our custom-trained model. We can get a simple request using curl or use the details provided for the specific model. The quick way to go is just to click Evaluate and Test here and upload a test document. This document is not one that the model has previously seen in training or testing. We seem to have all the fields that we expect, like supplier, invoice ID, due date, line items, and totals. You can use either Python code or just use the API directly for your programmatic use cases. We hope this video has been helpful. As always, we'll include the diagram file in the video description. Thank you very much for watching, and please enjoy it responsibly.